All right, you ready?
Yes, sir. Wait,
Ready?
give me one sec.
Go crazy.
My
Go crazy.
suddenly the audio is coming through my phone again, not my.
Oh crap. It's okay. We'll give it. We'll give him some time. It's okay, guys. It's Robo. Technical difficulties happen. Thank you so much. I just see over there we got Cam Seeds coming in with a raid. Thank you very much, brother. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you. We're just dealing with some technical difficulties, guys. These things happen when you do live production. I'm pretty sure our boy Luca can tell us all about it. Whenever we get to it. Thank you very much, Cam Siege, for the raid. Welcome everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in. We're just gonna get that all set up real quick, and get the audio issue sorted.
Here we go.
Are you ready? Are you happy? Or can I put you on the screen now? Because the angle we just had you at, dude. I don't know if you wanted that one on the internet, man.
Beautiful. You're more than welcome.
All right.
We have more than one good angle.
Let's do it. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the HenricoM podcast. Just chatting, talk about whatever the fuck we want. And today we have arguably one of the fucking coolest people to me and to so many people on the internet, but especially the local side of things. RoBoHoBo or Luca, thank you so much, man, for your time. And thank you very much for making time to join me on the podcast, bro.
Oh, it's only the pleasure. Yeah, Hobo, Luca, one and the same at this stage, I think.
Whichever one. So we had this planned. We had this planned on him using his very nice microphone and his very nice setup. But then you got told, hey bro, listen, you're flying to Joburg this week, by the way.
Yeah, so geez, like about 3 days ago, I got told I got to swing up to Joburg and present to like 150 students for the year, just on a couple of plans and what the craziness we're doing on campus this year and a few other things. So yeah, I was a little surprised last minute call, but that is why I'm here on my Samsung with some in-ears, definitely taking the high level Enrico production down. Apologies.
That's fine. That's fine. You still made time. You still made time in your super busy schedule, and I think that's one of the first things. Like, you are arguably one of the first. I would say you're arguably one of the first, as I can recall. I might be incorrect on this state, but I'm pretty sure that you are one of the first ever South Africans to hit Twitch partnership. Back then.
It's like, yeah, feels like a long time ago. I was actually a student when that happened. So yeah, how weird to think 12 years ago around then. We're thinking, between 2012 and 2014, running my old agency back in the day, Online Orena. I was really fortunate to live in Century City, a district in Cape Town, where there was really early on-stage fiber. So there was already a fiber connection in those buildings. 2010, I was flipping lame enough to only see it 2 years later, but streaming almost every day, specifically, obviously looking at local tournaments. I think a lot of the landscape back then was really just telecom, hosting the DGL championships once a year.
This year's Ghost Up,
yeah, and at that time, it was like I was playing and competing as well, but I knew that competing at that stage, honestly, was not going to get me anywhere in terms of financial security in the long term. As much as it was my passion, I realized that someone needs to come into the space and start offering these occasions on a more regular basis. So for one, obviously players can improve, and number two, hopefully create some kind of a financial, structure, at least lay the foundation
around
for
the
something that maybe. Exactly, and obviously that included a lot of streaming, commentating over my own tournaments, commentating them, adminning them, negotiating kind of all the deals around them as well. It was just really kind of a little student for chasing a dream back then, and yeah, that translated into Twitch partnership of a couple of tournaments that did really, really well. Kind of streaming consistently. I think back then, geez, it was crazy to think we had the CS:GO Lounge partnering with one of our events, and we sat at like I think 40K concurrence at a peak on that one, and that really kind of like worked things up to like, holy shit, okay, there actually is something here to play with.
Yeah.
it's just how to get it right. And here we are, 12 years later, still figuring it out. So.
And now you're pretty much the head of gaming for Red Bull South Africa, which is, I think, a place that a lot of people know you from these days. The way that I learnt of you, by the way, and this was probably in 2000 and I want to say 16. I was playing a comp game in Counter-Strike. It was playing Nuke. I remember I was playing Nuke, and we were in CT spawn, and I was queuing into some randoms, and then this guy with like the sickest inventory. I'm like, holy shit, how do you have these cool skins? And he's like, no, I'm an owner of CSGO Lounge. I'm like, what? No, you're not. Like, there's no way. And it's a South African, like, you don't expect that, right? And I remember going on the CSGO Lounge website, and then one of the tournament things were there. And then I saw your stream pop up. I wasn't on CSGO Lounge, but it was somewhere. I remember looking at CSGO Lounge and looking at the whole setup they had there. And I saw your name. I was like, who the fuck calls himself RoBoHoBo? What the hell, dude? And now, and then obviously as time goes on, I learned more about you. I remember you doing what was it called? The Take-A-Lot PUBG? I don't know, the Take-A-Lot PUBG stuff. You casted those, or you broadcasted. I'm not sure if you casted them. And then there was the Overwatch one. I'm pretty sure there's still a page on Wikipedia for the Overwatch stuff. And then obviously, I think it was 2015 you went to NA with Shaz and them. I remember reading an interview last night that you did with, I'm not sure if it was WCSA or whichever the hell, but I just remember reading that and I was like, damn, Luca's been everywhere. You've been around. You've literally been around. You're like the uncle of esports in our country. Like you've been in every, I want to say, every avenue, every side. Like you've gone from making gaming your thing, like not just by streaming it, but also then broadcasting it to the world, but then also taking the small scene that we had back then. I mean, it's a lot bigger now, but it's still pretty small compared to the world. But you took that scene and you gave it an audience. You gave people the opportunity to watch it. How was Twitch different back then compared to now? I know you don't stream a lot anymore. I mean, life is busy. That happens, and then you have different ventures, but you do still stream. But if you could think about like back then Twitch compared to now, I mean, back then Twitch was a whole different world. I mean, back then Twitch was gaming. Now Twitch is this. Twitch is whatever you want it to be.
It was a gunslinger environment back then. Hey? Like you could go live, whatever game you wanted to play. These kind of cam environments that you see nowadays, I think they were still on the site. They were just not as prevalent. Of course, gaming was the absolute focus. But if you remember, Twitch was Justin TV, which really was that, just hanging out with, your favorite personality for a little bit live on stream. Gaming wasn't even the purpose behind it. It's just somehow became the main purpose for the website. As you said, it's obviously diverted a little bit nowadays. Gaming, I would say, is still what you would imagine Twitch is all about. If you go and speak to someone about Twitch, they think gaming, they don't think all the other things, But obviously, as we know, that's changed a lot. I mean, it's been a long 12 to 13 years. I think we've got Emma Dilemma in chat here actually from Bravado, and that's where it kind of really all began for me, competing on the local circuit in Call of Duty 4 at the time. So the original Modern Warfare was obviously prevalent or more prominent on PC back then, Call of Duty. So as we know, computer comes with the lovely world of being able to mod games. And someone modded Call of Duty 4 at that time and added something called Pro Mod to the game. And ProMod just allowed Pod 4 to survive for way longer than it should have. It was live locally for about 5 years. If I think of Telcon back then, we had like over 150 teams in seasons, 5-man teams playing COD. Now you'd be lucky to, So it was weird. It was still very grassroots. You had places like OC that existed, which cultivated a strong base in Cape Town. You had MPLD in Johannesburg, which cultivated a strong competitive gaming base in Josie. Then you had Vendetta in Durban, a few others, I forget the one name, but it was a prominent monthly land there as well. And we don't really have those anymore. Rage is kind of the one that we survive on every year. It was that point which I mentioned earlier. You compete, you love competition. If I could today go back and play COD as a professional and argue with my parents to send me overseas instead of studying economics, I probably would go back and flash for it now, but honestly, no regrets. The last 12 years has been incredible. The amount I've learned through just being in the industry and trying to bring things to life. It's a cliche university of life. I didn't finish my degree in my second year. I was like, focus on Orena, run this business, and thank God my parents supported it at the time. And it turned into something awesome. They allowed me to do it because I had Partner on board. There was, Hollywood Bets, can you believe it, at the time was paying advertising on a gaming website, and that was like feeding Congo Carl. He was my editor at the time. He was living with me. So yeah, it was like, had an employee, and I was 21 years old, but he was a mate of mine, and we just loved the industry, and we felt like two people can make it happen in our home, and it really did, So we went from competing for the last time in 2013. I played Black Ops 2 for Bravado, came third at Rage that year. Obviously, the previous year winning Call of Duty. Coming third was, there we go, we're back. Coming third was a bummer for someone who, is extremely competitive at heart. So you kind of looked at it at the time, are you going to go back for another year, play a game maybe that you're not really passionate about, or are you going to try and bring gaming to life? So 2013, started competing. Obviously, still was part of Bravado in terms of like an ambassador kind of feeling. Look, Bravado is still my family. Andreas and Dimitri are two of my closest friends, and from, as mentioned, 2013, started hosting my tournaments. 2014, had a conversation with, it was LegOROM at the time locally. They were approached by ESWC with regards to Counter-Strike tournament here in South Africa, and actually offering a local qualifier for a local team. The previous year, Energy actually signed up to go to ESWC and competed there, and that kind of sparked the interest. Cool, there are actually South African Counter-Strike players. So they gave the qualifier to us at the time. We hosted that throughout a couple months. Brought the final to Cape Town. We hosted it actually at this was the original one. This was all the way up in Joburg at a Duke's Esports Bar. I don't know if you guys remember that place in Pretoria. So someone opened up a bar back in 2015. We had the final there. Crazy bar environment, extra smashing on windows. Rumbling up against the protective glass. Steve, who's like the live gaming now, the psychologist, can you believe it? Like how that's changed, being a fan to actually being a psychologist for the live gaming now. And that year, Bravado won. It was Tulani, Detroni, Rapno, or Moneybags or Deviant, and then who was the fifth game? Did I mention Dini, Detroni?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, these are all names that are now still in the scene, but they've kind of stepped away from the keyboard in the sense of like competing, but now more being involved maybe behind the scenes, and that it's so cool to hear. Like you were there with them when they were still on the keyboard, not behind the scenes, but they were the scenes.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like we don't realize there's some players who have ridiculous legacies that we don't really know about. I mean, you think of like Detroni. I mean, that guy's taken maps off of Angel, like one of the best great players of all time. At great championships, like that is not a joke. It's like top 32 in the world, Same thing again, Dimi DreamHack with Bravado. Again, the year after, ESWC 2016 in Paris, in France, similar team. These guys have had, multiple chances competing overseas during that phase. And from there, you just saw this complete kind of explosion of obviously one skill and talent locally. They brought that knowledge back home. And then the interest around the game just obviously blew up. Like, families were like, okay, geez, I can actually win a trip overseas and experience a world final. And I think CS from there experienced like these massive bubble years. That's when I was actually up in Joburg, busy kind of transitioning my business from running it to actually handing it over to another entertainment company at the time, was the Metro. And I mean, there was a 2 million rand CS tournament this day, then a 1.5 the next day, another $1 million rand the next day. And then the year after, bang, you see nothing. And I think it was just this misunderstanding of how big it was at the time. We were really experiencing a little bit of like a local bubble, if you want to call it that. But from there, we've seen almost like a stabilization of like, okay, what is the important objective? What do we need to really get?
Oh, we lost him for a moment. Okay, we'll have him back any second. As we know, Joburg internet is not the best, guys. We know Joburg internet is not the best. Luckily, you can see his beautiful face, nice and frozen there. Welcome to everyone who is tuning in live, and for those of you that are watching offline, maybe on YouTube, don't forget to like the video, add a comment. Emma Zassi Daras, I appreciate everyone tuning in and watching. Who's to me? It's Detroni from Bravado. He's so still, it's almost like he's a robot. Good one, Emma. Can always count on you. To keep the comedy at a perfect amount. At a perfect amount, dude. Robo blue screen. Exactly. Pogistan. Yeah, Pogistan we're waiting for the Joburg internet to reconnect. As we know, Cape Town is superior. It's fair. Cape Town is superior compared to Joburg. Nobody actually likes Joburg.
Hey, displays on Street Fighter. So we have the.
We had him for a moment, and he's gone. And he's gone. He's gone. He's gone. We had him for a moment. It's okay. He'll be back. Don't worry. No worries. We can all discuss as to why Cape Town is better than Joburg. Wookie, thank you very much for tuning in as well. We appreciate you. Thank you everyone for hanging out. Like we said, Robo was pulled into a little bit of a business meeting over the week, so he just got a nice little message saying like, "Hey, listen, you're flying up to Joburg."
Hello.
Hey, are you back? Do we have you now?
Seems like the hotel Wi-Fi is streaming with me now.
The hotel, it's Joburg internet, dude. I mean, what do we expect, man? Joburg internet does not want to work with us. Cape Town is superior. Morale, the internet. No, dude. City of Cape Town, that's where it's at. Cape Town has clean air, and that's more than enough. I agree. Cape Town does have clean air. What are your guys' thoughts? Do you guys think what do you guys think? Clean air or good internet? Which one are we picking here? Again, a few second video already triggered me. How, Nocturtle? How? Cape Town has Henrico, ergo Johannesburg is better. Okay, thank you, Nocturtle. This wouldn't happen in Cape Town. That's true. That's true. If Robo was in Cape Town, this would not have happened, guys. I'm just saying. Okay, technical difficulties happen. This is what happens when you do live shows. And that's why we embrace it. We embrace it. Are we back? Hey!
Nice. Hotel Wi-Fi. Just
Joburg internet. No, we were just mocking Joburg, man. That's just another sign that you should never go back there and please stay in Cape Town forever because life would suck without you.
Cape Town forever.
There we go. Cape Town forever. Thank you very much.
The point I was kind of making there was just that was really the purpose behind like stopping competing. You know, was a little bit of a selfish reason. You know, what can I do to kind of cultivate a scene that I could maybe dive back into and complete myself? But yeah, that didn't happen soon enough. So that's.
I remember when the PUBG scene really started popping up, especially locally. Like you were like the main place to like go and watch, or your channel at least was like the main place to go and watch all these events. And I mean, I still have friends like Zassy, Mr. Sir. These are all friends that I have to this day. And there's like still you can like look at some of your old clips and you're like, there's Zassy playing beta version of PUBG, or there's Mr. Sir getting a cool nade kill. It's insane how it really is, and I don't just say this because like I'm gonna tell the story real quick because it'll all add to the point, I promise. So when I wanted to meet Luca the first time, he said, "Hey man, come through to the offices. We'll meet up." And I was like, "Hell yeah!" Telling him like I'm gonna do it. Meanwhile, in my mind, I'm like, "There's no fucking way I'm going to those offices. There's no way. I'm scared. And then I had another opportunity to see him and meet him, and I remember. It was Rage Cape Town. This was my first event where I'm now officially a streamer. I'm a person. You know, there's people who want to see me. It was quite overwhelming. And me and Zassy walked into Rage. We had a bit of a Comic-Con. We had a bit of a conversation, and we saw him on the side. And I told Zassy, we are not fucking leaving this place until I've spoken to him. Okay, and then Zash was like, "Okay, deal, got you." And then every now and then Zash would just remind me like, "Hey, remember." You gotta go speak to Luca. And I'm like, yeah, I'll do it now. Meanwhile, I'm like, don't make me go do it. And I remember it was the Sunday, because obviously you had big events. You had a big event running that Comic-Con. You guys had the Valorant tournament. So you're obviously busy as well. And then the Sunday, I was like, okay, cool. If there's any day he's not going to be busy, it is going to be the Sunday. So I go the Sunday, I look at Luca, he stands there, I'm like a little lost child in the middle of a Titanic sinking, just looking at him, I'm gonna do it. And I walk up to him and we talk, and it felt like we basically spoke like we've never had a conversation before, but it felt so natural. And then we swapped over to me asking if I can come to the offices, and then I literally go to him at the office, and we literally spoke like we were supposed to have a meeting about something, and I remember like 90% of the meeting, we didn't even talk about it. We just spoke about gaming. And that is like one of the most amazing things I appreciate about you, is that you have as Ashley says it best, you have the perfect way to connect gaming with the corporate world, pretty much. Like when I say corporate world, like the real stuff that happens. And I remember meeting you and I was like, this guy, like, this is not real. Why was I so scared this entire time? And you're like one of the nicest guys ever. And that is it all comes down to like why you're such a big deal in the scene. I feel like I said, the uncle of esports, because you brought all these people and communities together with like, if there's someone to thank, you are one of the biggest people to thank. Oh my lord, I'm sorry for interrupting you, but Hitmister just dropped
not at all.
100 gifted subs. Holy shit! Wow, Hitmister, my oiler, thank you so much, brother. That's amazing. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I will thank you in a second. Dude, see, I think we need to get Robo on the stream more, guys. Look at what's happening. And he just dropped another 50. Holy. I'm so sorry. Holy crap, this never happens. Holy shit. Thank you so much, Hitmister. I appreciate it. I will thank you properly. He's going to want a forehead kiss, Luca, so I'm just going to forehead kiss him. There you go. There you go. He's going to want one of those. There you go. You got a kiss from Luca as well, dude. There we go. Thank you very much, Hitmister. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. You're amazing, dude. You're amazing. Coming back full swing after all that. That is amazing. Holy crap. Thank you so much, Hitmister. Coming back full swing from all that, I've now had the opportunity to work with you and work for you in a sense. What would you say is like your focus? Not at Red Bull. I want to make this very clear that I'm not talking about Red Bull. I'm talking about, the focus of Luca. What is RoBoHoBo's dude, another 18 subs. Thank you so much. Sorry, honestly, Robo, I think we're gonna cancel this. We're just gonna talk about the subs now. We're just gonna talk about the subs. Thank you so much.
As much as you like.
Thank you so much, man. I will give you all the love once it's done. I promise. Thank you, Hitmister, with another. That's what 100 and almost 200 gifted subs. Thank you so much. Anyway, excuse me, Robo. That's amazing. I love my community, and I'm very fortunate. What's next for Luca? What is your focus now? Aside from Red Bull, obviously you're growing the brand. You're getting more people. You have annoying people like me every month emailing you, telling you like, hey, I'm gonna come through and come get my wings. But what is next for Luca itself?
Yes, I mean, geez, when it comes to what I've been busy with, all the kind of stuff I've been chatting about, and the last 4 or 5 years working at the Bull, the real pleasure has been working for a company that aligns very much with my dream, and I flipped since I started competing back in 2008, 2009. I mean, you're always kind of the odd ones out. I was presenting to students today, and one of the points I made, when I was a student on campus like them, if I told homies that I was dragging my PC from Cape Town up to Joburg to play in a Call of Duty tournament, they probably would have looked at me kind of weird. Whereas now, you can log on YouTube every night in the week, and you've got local, big personalities like Nasty C playing COD on YouTube every day. So the thing is, it's like we have this very new, fresh audience here in South Africa. It's 100%, how can I say, rather, we get confused in the idea that we seek very much people like you and myself. We only communicate to the heavy enthusiasts. The scene that we talked on Twitter. Let's say, throwing a number out, let's say it's 2,000 to 5,000 of us on local Twitter South Africa who are heavy enthusiasts of gaming, even aspiring pros. We're only really communicating to those people. So how do we, as enthusiasts ourselves, kind of take the excitement that we feel to the average South African who maybe is a couch gamer on the weekend, and kind of show them the bigger value in the industry from the entertainment side of it, from the competition side as an athlete, from the business side, someone like yourself who's a content creator, in a couple of years' time, all the learnings that you achieve through what you're doing, you could apply for a really amazing job in editing or program and production in the esports space. So I think overall it's just growing the industry to make it something that is a bit more sustainable for the industry itself, but also individuals who want to be involved. And I mean, flip, if there's one thing we struggle with in South Africa, it's employment. So if we can somehow find an extra little avenue for people to make a living from, a completely new, form of entertainment locally, it's something that's blown up so big overseas, and we're still like 10 years behind. So really it's the dream, to see what we, enjoy and engage with ourselves in terms of international tournaments and content and the international esports circuit. I want to see that here back home and obviously across the entire continent. I mean, we're very lucky here in South Africa. We're like a little, I like to call it like a little paradise island. We're so far away from all the other tier 1 countries, but we have a tier 1 understanding of esports. Strong tournament providers and locally agencies that really understand the in-depth workings of a tournament to the broadcasts to being project managers in the space. We have those individuals here. It's just, how do we turn it into something that is truly sustainable? This is talking about the ACGLs and the medal states and such. But yeah, that is the focus. We want to see Africa just as clearly, highlighted and integrated into the global esports and gaming industry. That is really the focus. In terms of kind of me personally, if I could be playing,
get married.
Like you bastards. That's what I'd be.
Hey,
LoadShedding.
There we go.
How's that?
There we go. Proper South African way. Get us some LoadShedding. Yeah, I saw you. I saw you got quite excited because Call of Duty released the ranked mode. The fact that you like Call of Duty more than Counter-Strike doesn't just hurt me a little. It hurts me a lot. But you know what? Because I love you, I'm gonna let it slide. Because obviously, I mean, you come from Call of Duty, so that's fair.
Yes, I love my CS2, but the roots always fall back.
It's so wholesome to hear you talk about the fact that, even though, I mean, I asked you obviously for your personal stuff, but it's so wholesome to hear you talk about the fact that even your goal is just to grow the country's esports. Like, I mean, that's what you're passionate about. That is where your passion lies. And I mean, I've seen it when I talk to you as well. Like I said, I went for my meeting with you and we had a quick little chat. And I remember I had like a very distinct idea of what we were going to talk about. And we literally ended up talking about gaming, the OC lands, the stuff that we used to do when we were kids or much younger at least. And it's so, I think the industry, the South African industry needs more people like you who are willing to go the extra mile for others to eventually carry the trophies. Because yes, you might be behind the scenes, but the people behind the scenes are the ones that's making everything happen, right? Like you guys are the people that are setting up the tournaments, setting up the events. I mean, if I have to look at Comic-Con, for example, I didn't personally think that there would be a Valorant tournament, right? Because it was very, very CS:GO like, because I mean we had the big Telco Masters thing that was there, or whatever it's called now, VS Gaming. We had that there, and then I'm seeing a Valorant tournament on the side, like properly being done as well. I mean, if it wasn't for people like you, obviously not just you, but people like you, that wouldn't have been a scene, that wouldn't have been a thing. And it's so cool to see that you're dishing out to not only one specific scene, which I think is a problem that we do face, where only one scene gets focused on. You're involving everyone from all avenues. Be it a pro player, be it someone who just wants to be an entertainer. You guys are involving everyone and getting the esports or the creator scene more of a little spotlight on them, and you're creating those opportunities.
Yeah, it's a good feeling. I mean, look, take the emotion out of it. At the end of the day, we all also want to make a living out of this, So from building it and the passion behind it, and seeing someone like Jubby. I'm an emotional guy. I hide my tears well, on camera, but turn it off. Watch a video. Roll back 3 years and see Jubby traveling to Japan for the first time, and what that experience was like for a young kid from Alexandra Township. He was like, this is not even a world, that I can engage with, let alone try and make a career out of. And a year later, the young man is flying down to Cape Town on his first plane trip ever, wins in Cape Town, and a month later, he's in Japan playing against his idols, the best players in the world. So from an emotional standpoint, that is super heavy. I get all chunky around that kind of stuff. And it's a feel good. But at the end of the day, you also want to earn a living. So, I mean, it took 8-9 years, in terms of working my own agency, and really, that income was project to project. You were chasing cash, if you want to call it that, cash to run the event, cash to feed yourself, your colleagues, your staff, and to finally be in a position now where I'm actually, full-time job, a gaming and esports specialist or manager at like a tier 1 brand globally. Like, honestly, rewind 8 years, I'd be laughing at you if I told you that was going to be my career. Same thing today, presenting to these students. It's like, what the hell? That's actually a job spec. Like, yes, it really is, and it's not the only one. And I think those types of opportunities will become much more prevalent in the future. You can still hear me, right?
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm listening.
You froze. As long as
I'm
I'm
getting
sorry.
mesmerized. Yeah, that dude, that Joburg Wi-Fi. Just come back to Cape Town. I just read a message here in chat from Zassi. It says, Robo, the amount of stress and anxiety this man, me, had before the first meeting with you at Red Bull headquarters, my DMs didn't stop for like 2 hours. So I'm getting thrown under the bus here. I think that's a normal thing to deal with, okay? Especially if you have to meet legends like this.
No,
So
100%, dude. I go through it as well. Don't you worry. Like the first time Sia Khaleesi walked into the office and you have to act all professional. It's
yeah,
like,
you have to
hey,
pretend like,
he's
oh, it's just Sia, dude. Meanwhile, it's like,
yeah,
this
yeah,
big
it's the worst
superstar,
thing.
the Springboks captain. Like, you just have to pretend like everything's fine.
No, literally, dude. I mean, even traveling to Japan and like I tell the story about Javi, him walking into this room with all his legends. I mean, Daigo Umehara, 40-year-old Japanese professional Street Fighter player, still playing on the pro circuit, beating these kids. Like he's an idol for me, and I got to stand around there and like act like an employee, like I'm the main area, but inside I'm like, dude, I just want to get this autograph.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
so
so
awesome.
still
So
still a game at the end of the day. Yeah,
so
even
obviously,
a fan.
our country is in quite a tough situation with load shedding and everything, but we still have 2023. We have, I mean, the year just pretty much started. It feels like it's been on forever already. It's kind of full swing, I feel like, so far. So we have Comic Con Cape Town coming up, and then we have Comic Con Joburg again, and then there's hopefully Rage and everything. Are there any things that you're like hoping that you see at these events, aside, not specifically Red Bull, like if there's something you really want to happen, like maybe a Call of Duty tournament or something that we can expect to see, or what is your views? Because I'm really hoping for the Comic Con Cape Town to have kind of the same vibe as Joburg, where there was multiple events with multiple brands, Telkom, Middle State, Red Bull, Coke, or whoever the hell, I really hope that that Comic Con Cape Town will give a similar type of vibe.
Yes, I mean, look, getting to know the Comic Con team over the last few years, same goes for the team at Rage. Like, there really are those two big occasions every year that really celebrate gaming, right? In the sense where it's the core focused audience is there for a weekend. People like you and myself can connect, whereas we only really get that chance maybe twice a year. So I think extremely important occasions for the local scene. COVID, them not being here, obviously was a massive, massive burn for us. Around the world, COVID was actually great for gaming. I would say in South Africa, it was actually terrible. We have load shedding as well. So the whole everyone's at home gaming. Well, not really for us. We got 12 hours of load shedding in some cases. So
Yep.
I don't think COVID was the best for us. It definitely woke up, I think, corporate to the world of gaming. After COVID, gaming became a top 3 priority in most big corporates. It's a top 3 priority, but they have no idea how to communicate with the audience. So that's going to be a process of the next, I'd say, decade. Individuals like yourself, myself, who maybe stop playing and take all that knowledge, that in-depth knowledge of being involved in the scene every day, understanding the way us gamers communicate, what games are hype, what's hype today and shit tomorrow. You need to know that as a corporate to be able to make the right decisions. You can say, hey, today we're hosting, I don't know, Call of Duty finals, and then suddenly they release a patch that just kills the game. Nobody wants to play it tomorrow, but we're still there at the venue. Like, why aren't there any players here? Well, you don't have anyone, in your business that understands kind of the in-depth happenings of the scene and what's happening on the other side of the world that affects us here. So
Yeah.
I think that's all going to change as soon as people like us start integrating themselves into these businesses and in these bigger corporates. That's become prevalent in the first world. I look at America and just chatting on Red Bull. Like there's 8 Lucas at Red Bull US. Managing that massive market, obviously in the US. But it's that I think is something that we'll see here. The other big brands like to get a gaming specialist.
Someone that can focus on it. Someone especially what your role is at Red Bull. You are the South African gaming specialist for Red Bull, a tier one company. So I'm guessing I think if more of those opportunities present themselves to people in our community, I definitely think that the brands could get way more involved with gaming, because I think you said it very, very well, where you said they know how to, or they want to have that audience, they want to have the gamers, but they don't know how to communicate it. And I said this earlier, you definitely know how to communicate perfectly between the gaming world and when I say real world, the corporate world, the business side of things. You know how to combine those. So I don't think they could have made a better pick. I saw a quick little 1 year in. I saw a quick little 1 year in chat, and he's gonna kill me if I don't ask you. But he hit campus clutch, all question marks. Do you think there will be a campus clutch Cape Town this year, maybe, or is there no info on this yet?
So, I mean, look, Campus Clutch, I think, is something that we love globally. It's doing really well every year. I'm not going to give away too much information, but I can tell you right now that there's a very strong chance we see Campus Clutch back in South Africa this year. So, anyone who is a student and loves gaming, anyone who's in chat who is not a student but loves Valorant and has friends who are students, please let them know. It's an amazing opportunity. We had the guys from Stocks Up last year. Obviously head to Brazil in December, and they spent a whole week there. Really got to meet the top players around the world at a student level.
What an opportunity!
Yeah, I mean, that's what really makes a difference. We saw it with the CS teams, we've seen it with the fighting game players now, we've seen it with the Rocket League players, Bravado's team heading overseas, and the same goes for Valorant. And kind of at that student level, still early in their gaming careers. Being exposed to that level of gaming, they still have that time to improve over the next 2 to 4 years to maybe give those teams, a harder time next attempt, essentially, whether it be Campus Clutch or VCT Masters, whatever the case may be.
That's awesome. What an opportunity, man. I think if you are someone who's passionate about gaming, or especially if you're maybe above average player and you feel good about your odds of making it professional, whatever, I think that's such an opportunity that gets presented. I really, really think so. That is such an opportunity. So hey, guys, Campus Clutch, sign up, okay? Don't be a bitch. Come on, we drive these. We drive these. So I want to swap over just to two little podcast. I guess you can call them things that I ask every guest now. So the first one is a question from me personally. I always love asking people this question because it makes them really whoa. And the question is, when people look at you, what do you think they see? Yeah, it hits you, huh? It hits you.
Probably like an overconfident jock, because I've made sure I've got a nice neat haircut. I'm growing the beard, and then you start talking to me, and yeah, I'm pretty fucking nerdy, guys. I'll be honest. I'm so sorry, guys. What I talk about is gaming, anime. I'm a lover of sports, so at least that kind of balances things out a little bit. But yeah, I think when looking at me, geez, dude, if anything, I try really be as approachable as possible. I was an awkward school kid, teenager. A university student. I was locked into my PC every day. My closest friends were my club teammates. They still are. I talk to them very frequently. We hang out frequently. And honestly, gaming in that team, captaining the team eventually starting to stream. Those things helped me kind of grow out of that shy personality, but it's still in there. I can trust you right now. I mean, before I have to get up on stage and talk to a bunch of students, I'm sweating, but once I start talking about games, that just all goes away.
You definitely got the confidence from from streaming and running the team and everything, that you definitely build confidence.
Oh yeah, 100%. Streaming is amazing for that. Like your camera, your voice, the way you vocalize yourself.
Yeah,
I think you stress less about how people see you. You look on camera every day, picking your nose, whatever, eating food on camera.
Literally,
that's just me. Yeah.
Then we have a quick little question here from chat. It comes from it's some random guy's name is Bumpfluffsky. He says, Henrico, does he think we're cool?
Yeah, I think we're all pretty fucking cool here. I don't know
how. Always leave it to Bum to make it like these questions. Like, what the hell? All right, so now I have another one. So pretty much every week we have a guest, and then that guest will leave a question for the next guest. So I'm going to ask you last week's guest, which was Grizzly Gaming. I'm not too sure if you've ever spoken to him, but he was my guest last week. Good guy. Yeah, he won Bumfluffsky's Stream of the Week thing. Yeah, so he got his wings. He loved it. I forced him. I was like, why don't you just come with me to the office? But then he was busy. But anyway, so he left a question. And this is, so you have to also leave a question. But his question is, what is the worst superpower you would impose on your worst enemy?
Jesus. The worst.
I think we need to get one for you. Wait, we just need your superpower would just be like keeping your phone straight the entire time.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it's like constant falling. Worst superpower
on your worst enemy.
Holy shit, dude! That's get really evil. Hey,
Yeah, you can.
worst superpower.
On your
Jeez,
worst
like I
enemy.
can't. The thing is, like, is it a superpower when it's like completely
Well,
negative?
yeah, I guess it's not really a superpower anymore. It's more just like a
Like
power, I
you could have,
guess.
yeah, everything. This is, I guess, a bit more humorous. Like, you get what was his name? The man who touched everything. That Midas, the touch of gold. I guess everything you touch turns to shit. I think that would be pretty terrible.
You just touch yourself and it just turns into like this blob of poo. That's
It
a good
sounds
one.
pretty bad to me. So.
That's a good one. I kind of get it. I guess I would be something like I would make all food taste the same, or like I would make them every time they drink water they just get more thirsty or something like that. I would do something really fucked up. You know, if it's my worst enemy, they need to suffer. So you have to leave. You obviously have to leave a question for the next guest. So if you don't mind, and this could be anything. You could be troll. You can be philosophical. You can be deep. You can be Bo Burnham deep. You can do anything. You can leave any question you want for the next guest.
I guess this one could probably get them in a bit of trouble in chat.
Okay.
It sounds like a cliche one, but I think a good one for a gamer and something you'd ask. Geez, like I guess for them, greatest game of all time. So I think that could be
greatest game of all time. All right,
yeah,
got it. That's going to be. Oh, that's going to start such a debate in chat. I love it. Well, we all know the greatest game of all time is World of Warcraft. So if anybody wants to make any other claim than that, you're wrong. I just want to tell you that. The greatest game of all time is World of Warcraft. We all know that. You're actually a WoW fan as well. You're actually quite the WoW fan as well.
Massive WoW fan. Burning Crusade definitely was my peak, and that was the same time as Call of Duty 4. So 2007, 8, 9, those years. Geez, that was really bad. It was,
if I had the opportunity to figure out how much hours I had in WoW since I started, I wouldn't ask for it. There's no way.
Yeah, I think if I think back, probably it's weirdly enough. I guess most people wouldn't think they're proud of it, but COD, my hours on that game, I was pretty proud of because I thought to myself, like, geez, I bought a PC when I was 16 years old. Bought one game. That's all I played for 5 years. My mom really didn't truly waste any money. I think I clocked in about 14,000 hours.
Holy fucking shit, dude!
And that was Xfire. I don't know if you guys remember that Xfire application back in the day. Just to like the old Steam. And yeah, that was weirdly enough a proud thing for me. I was like, holy shit, I actually
14.
I mastered something.
Dude, I've never played an FPS game with you, but I kind of feel like I want to just to see how fucking cracked you are. Because I feel like you'd probably own most of us. We should play some Counter-Strike. I know you don't play Counter-Strike anymore, but I'm pretty sure we can get to... We'll get some of the OGs. We'll get you, Emma, me. Get some of the homies in a comp. We'll just play 1 or 2 comps. I think that could be really, really fun. I'll set it up.
Yeah,
I'll set it up somewhere in the future.
Yes, I think I was... Also, like the years, so when I was busy with my own agency, there was a team called NJOS, Naked Jungle Oaks, with spears and kits. That was the name. I don't know if you guys remember Convict Hadley. He created the team. It was actually Hadley. It was Asterix, myself, Vindicator, and damn it, his name was Steve. I don't remember his real name. Guy from Durban, but geez, that team, I remember we actually put up a few good games. Deep BC back in the day. Yeah, that was a quick in and out there. Did a couple of months and then straight back to hosting tournaments.
There we go. We'll set up a CS. We'll set up some CS time. Well, I have to say for one, first of all, once again, thank you very much for making time to do this. I really appreciate. I know you're. I don't think people always realize how busy someone behind the scenes are, and I think you are a pivotal example for me, or like someone who also realized that, damn, this man is actually fucking crazy busy. Because every time we've tried to like plan something or we want to do something, there's always like, hey man, listen, bit time constraint today, or like I have a stream or you have a meeting. It is insane how busy you are. And I mean, like I said, literally this week you were still in Cape Town, now you're in Joburg because you have to do like some big meeting. So it's always insane to like realize how much goes on behind the scenes before something actually, you know, happens and actually is brought to people and produced and put a show basically put on for the gaming. So I'm hoping.
Thank you. Look, there's a lot of amazing people behind the scenes that bring it all to life, you know, and being able to kind of work as a bit of a, if you want to say, a conductor in some sense, and bring all those people together. I think the rule I've always felt strongest by is surround yourself with the cliche as well, but surround yourself with people that are way better at doing what you want to do than you are. and just kind of paint the picture for them to bring this image to life. And that has been the biggest gift, is having amazing agencies to work with, your ACGLs, Metal States, Flip, TGN from the simulator side, great third-party events like your expos, your raiders, your Comic Cons, and then amazing individuals in the scene as well, yourself, and the Sams of the world, the Goliath Gamings, the Bravado Gamings, the ATKs. I'm going to leave out a lot of names here, the Nibbles. We have a lot of hardworking people in the scene. I think when it comes to managing a whole pool of different aspects, yes, it does get busy. But having these people kind of entering the scene over the last 4 to 5 years really has kind of, I wouldn't say made things easier, but made it a lot more fun, engaging with people who are at the same level of kind of passion for gaming, but also building up kind of that corporate, more structured business kind of mindset towards things, which I don't think should ever overlap like the culture of gaming. But you do need a little bit of that to kind of push things forward. And it's going to take a little bit longer for sure. I think we all have to be a little bit patient, but there are still ways to make it sustainable. I think it's just being smart about it. It's like myself. I'd love to stream all day, and I tried that last year. Impossible. You can't do a full-time job and stream. Streamers, content creators, like what you're doing is a fucking hard job. You got to treat it like a 12 to 16 hours a day job. If you want it to succeed, it is what it is, and actually own that with pride. Like you have something that is serious, as serious as you make it. So
yeah.
I think the opportunity is there for all of us to make something awesome. And there's going to be a lot more people like me that fall out of the woodworks, as it becomes easier to tell mom and dad that you want to be a professional gamer, whether it's a cameraman, a flipping lawyer working for a gaming team.
Exactly.
All those things are going to become possible, and at least part of the portfolio, if you want to call it that.
I could not have said it better. Like I said, you have the perfect way of like taking the business lingo and combining it with the gaming world, and you're doing a great job at giving that to the people and the people who want to learn more about it. And like you said, hopefully one day they can tell their parents like, hey, I want to be a professional gamer. With that, I really, really hope that I get to see more of you this year. I can't wait to see what you achieve with everything you do. And obviously a little self nudge for myself. I can't wait to work more with you. I was super, super fortunate enough last year to host the Red Bull Flick event, and that was one of my that's a highlight in my life. It's literally on like my little reel of highlights that I got to work at the Red Bull Flick event. I got to host it, so I'm very excited to see what this year has in store for me to hopefully work with you more and to see more from you and everything that you do at Red Bull. I think it's really, really cool. It's always nice to. It's always important to me to make sure that you realize that. I don't just see you as the Red Bull guy. I see you as Luca as well, and that's why I'm excited to see what Luca himself or RoBoHoBo himself will be doing in the coming year. And 2023 has definitely started with a bang, and we have our first event coming up in like 60 days, and then we'll hopefully see what happens first, what the first big thing could be. I'm gonna be honest, Chad. I'm not leaking, but I'm pretty sure there's gonna be something because the Red Bull offices and the Comic Con thing is like right next to each other. Like if they don't at least have a banner there, then there's something wrong. So I'm very excited for it. I'm very, very excited for it. Thank you so much for your time.
Don't forget, funny enough, talking about the industry as well, don't forget, guys, there's a job opening right now at Red Bull. It's literally my job right now that I'm doing. So if this is the world that you want to involve yourself in, there's already a starting point.
Damn. And, what a good shout out. What a good shout out. It's on your Twitter, right? I'm pretty sure I saw you tweet it. Okay, so we got your Twitter in chat. Everyone, look at Luca's Twitter. He did actually post about the Red Bull job that is opening soon. If you want to work in esports, bro, this is your time. Take your chance. Shoot your shot. The worst thing that's going to happen is they're going to say no. It's going to suck when they say no, but you'll learn from it. Dude, that's awesome. Thank you very much for shouting that out. I was about to ask you if there's anything you want to shout out, and that's great. I think that's absolutely amazing.
Awesome.
Thank you very much, Robo, for your time. Luca, I really appreciate it. I know you're a busy man. Luca is about to go have the best dinner ever. Well, it's not the best dinner because it's in Joburg, so it doesn't really count. If it was Cape Town, maybe, but he is running to a good dinner now. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you very much for being you. Thank you for what you do for people like me, people who game, and for our industry. I can promise you it goes appreciated. And you're definitely, when I posted that I'm having you on, a lot of people were like saying like this is honestly one of the greatest people in our scene that we have. So I really appreciate that you took the time to talk. We'll do this hopefully again someday. Maybe we'll even do one live at one of the next events. Maybe, you never know. So thank you very much
Sounds
for your time.
great.
If there's anything you want to shout out, anything you want people to do, anything you want people to hear, please go do so. We have all his information pinned in chat if you guys want to go check him out. The red carpet is yours. Go crazy.
Awesome. Yeah, I think just a huge thank you to you, dude, for putting this platform together. I think it's always so nice to kind of hear local opinions from the players in the scene who are trying to make a difference, yourself included. To everyone in chat, it's always so nice getting love. We don't do it for that, but look, we all have an ego, so it's always nice to get a little pat in the back every now and then.
Yep.
But we don't do it for that. We do it to hopefully, as we said earlier, kind of really create something sustainable for every one of us who want to make this their life. And man, it's an awesome place to be. We have our difficulties, locally, internationally. But hey, if anything, good vibes only. We should be able to challenge each other. I think that's something we're all afraid of. Ask questions, but ask them nicely. I've gone through my challenges in the past as well, with deals that went bad and things kind of get blown very, I wouldn't say out of proportion, but they get blown up online and become very negative when there's actually a lot of discussion to be had when those things happen, and strong solutions that can be born out of those difficult moments. And we've had a few of those over the last couple of years online through the way people communicate and talk to each other. But I think we're all just, at the end of the day, want to turn this into something sustainable for ourselves. So Flip, I think the world needs a little bit more love in every space, and I think gaming is one that we can really be hands-on with that. We're all the same. We all love playing games and escaping into these little worlds. So if anything, just be a little bit kinder to the homie across the stream, or across the screen rather. But also, I think banter and excitement and all these things and making things entertaining is also very important. So I think it's just being a little bit nicer, asking the hard questions in a better way, because we all want to see things get better. But ask the questions and the right people will answer, for sure.
God, that was so wholesome. I love it. That was perfect. That's those TikTok motivational clips, chat? That was one of those. And you ended off with a beautiful camera drop. Perfect. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. Everyone in Twitch chat who tuned in. If you're all watching this on YouTube or whatever, don't forget to follow, whatever the hell, dude. Whatever people see, click the bell, subscribe, give us money, the usual. Thank you very much. I appreciate everyone. You guys are amazing. Luca, thank you very much for your time as well. Have a great night. Be safe in Joburg. Please don't die. And we'll see you at the next event. Have a good one, chat.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, everyone. Hearts in chat for Luca and all the love to him. Have a good one, everyone. Stay safe, stay awesome. Take care of yourself, take care of your friends, and don't forget to check up on yourself. Have a good one. Bye-bye.